Okay guys, so today we're going to solve the problem binary tree level order traversal. So the question says given the root of binary tree, return the level order traversal of its node values. That is from left to right, level by level. So what the question is saying is we have to do a level order traversal. What a level order traversal means is you have to do a breadth first search on the tree and return the nodes in that order. And what a breadth first search is, basically you have to go take the root node, then go to the left node, then its right node. Okay, then if 9 had a left node and right node, you had to go to that node and this node. Then 20 is left node and right node. So in this case, the level order traversal would be 3, 9, 20, 15, and 7. So you have to complete the breadth of the tree first and then go level by level below. Okay, so as you can see in the output, we're going from 3, then 9 and 20, and then 15 and 7. Okay, so this is the first level, this is the second level, and this is the third level. Okay, so how to solve this problem? What I think is I should just code it out first because it'll be a bit more easier to explain what we're going to do in this after I code it out. Yeah, so 2 minutes guys. Okay guys, I'm running the code. Okay, so I will oh, sorry, this is right. Change. Okay, no. Yeah, I have to change it in here. Yeah. And running it. Yeah, and submitting it. Yeah, it's submitted. Okay guys, so what we're doing in this question is, yeah, wait, okay. So first we're just doing the basic checks. If it's not a root, or if the root.val is 9, we're going to return. Okay, and if it's not, what we're going to do is, yeah, we're creating a queue. Okay, the data structure queue, first in first out, which follows the first in first out principle. Okay, and we're going to add the root, which is 3, into the queue basically, and we're creating a values list which is going to be returned in the end. So the final list you see is going to be returned, and we're just creating a values list over here. And as you can see in the output, we have a list of list as an output. So each level will have its own list. Okay, so 3 is in its own list, 9 and 20 is the second level, which is in its own list, and 15 and 7 is the third level, which is an old list, which is in its own list. Yeah, so we have to create a levels value list for 2. Level values list. Okay, so what we're doing in this question is essentially we're going to first check if the queue is null or not. So we already made the queue not null by adding the root to it, so it's not null. So we're going to go inside the loop. Okay, since we go inside the loop, we're going to create a levels list for each level. Okay, so each level will have its own list, which will be created when we enter the while loop. Now we're going to check if now we're going to go check the length of the list, and we're going to loop through it for that many times. Okay, so in this case, we're going to just loop through it for one time. Okay, let me just write it here once, because there's only 3 in the list. Okay, now we're going to pop it, and we're going to store the value into a node variable. So node will have the value 3, and the queue is now empty since we popped the list. Okay, now we're going to add the value, add the pop value to the level values list. Okay, so now the first level is complete. Okay, yeah, so now we're going to go through forward. Now we're going to check if each node has left node or a right node. Okay, if it does have a left node, so 3 does have a left node, we're going to append it over here like this. And if it does have a right node, yes, so we're going to append that too. Okay, now we're going to append the values list. Okay, now since the for loop is complete, because we're going to loop through it for one iteration, the for loop is complete. Now we're going to add the values, level values. So the value list, what we have now is 3, the list of 3, and we're going to append it to the values list. So 3 is going to be appended. Okay, now on the second iteration, we're going to check if the queue is empty. It's not. We're going to create a new levels list. Since it's obvious, we're going to create a new levels list. Now we're going to go to the next iteration and check. Now we're going to check, go inside the for loop, what's the length of the queue. In this case, it's 2. Okay, now it's 2. So now we're going to pop the node from now we're going to pop a node from the queue from the first position. So we're going to have the node equal to 9 now. Since node is 9, now we're going to append that to the values list. So 9 is appended to the values list. Okay, now we're going to check if 9 has a left node and a right node. So none. It doesn't have a left node and a right node. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't have a left node and right node. So we're going to go in the second iteration now. That was the first iteration, now the second iteration. Now 9 is already popped from here. Now we only have 20. So node is now equal to 20 since we popped it from the queue. Okay, and now the queue is empty. Now we're going to append it to the levels values. Okay, now we're going to check if 20 has left and right nodes. So it does. So 15 and 7 are its left and right nodes. Okay, now since it has a left and right node, and now since the iterations are complete, we're going to append the level values to the values list. Okay, so now this is going to be appended to this list. Okay, now we're going to go to the next iteration. In the next iteration, we're going to pop 15 from the queue. We're going to make it the node, and we're going to append it to the level values. Okay, now this time again you'll have only 2 iterations, because we had two elements in the queue this time, 15 and 7. Then we're going to check if 15 has left and right nodes. So no, and we're going to it doesn't have left and right nodes. So we're going to the second iteration. This time 7 will be popped, and now 7 will be the node of the list, node of the problem. And yeah, we're going to append it to the level values list. And this time, since 7 also doesn't have a left node and right node, we're going to append the level values. Since the 2 iterations are now complete, we're going to append this to the level values over here. Yeah, and yeah, so then after all the iterations are complete and since this time when we go to the loop, the queue will now be empty. So if we have no node, we'll just return the values list, and when we return the values list, we'll get this as the answer, which is same as this. So yeah guys, so that's how you solve the problem. Thanks.